So you're about to get on a rail car with somebody who races mountain bikes. How fast do you think we're gonna go?
As fast as the person in front of us.
Yes, they will haul ass if you get some space. We're gonna run this thing right off of the track. I think we can take them out.
Push them forward.
12 seatbelts. Like, that's so.
And you do get a little basket in the back, so you can carry your stuff. Because the guy said if you put stuff in your pockets, because of the way you sit, it kind of tends to fall out. So it's a good thing they gave you the basket.
Yeah.
4 miles an hour. Oh, that was weird.
I can't believe you're not even pedaling.
I don't think I need to. If I pedal, it doesn't even add anything to it.
It does. I can't stop. We won't move.
Stop. We're rolling pretty good. So thoughts? Very easy to pedal, right?
Yeah.
It's geared very low.
Yeah.
You can only go so fast because you're just spinning the pedal so fast, but they're easy to pedal. The tires look like they're made out of like some polyurethane, so they have some kind of like shock absorption to them a little bit. You gotta pay to park. Park.
It's only $5.
$5 or something, yeah.
2 hours.
The
No,
fee.
2 hours and 20 minutes.
You did 2 hours?
Yeah.
So the fee to do this is, at the time of this video, it was $45 a person, right?
Yeah.
So it's $45 a person to do it. The trip takes, what'd they say, an hour and a half, right?
Right.
An hour and a half. It's pretty much a straight shot from what they were saying. You go up, they turn you around, you come back. The seats are pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
There's one brake. It's a hydraulic disc. I knew there was another one down here to spin these things around.
Of course. Oh, look. Don't break yet.
I think I can make it. I think I can make it.
Is that a barge?
It spins.
Wow.
It spins to let the boats go by, and then it looks like it hasn't been moved in many years.
Right.
But yeah, look, it sits on that gear.
Yeah, that spinny thing.
Yeah, and the whole thing would just spin. So Strava has us at, it was 1 3/4 miles one way. We did it in 16 minutes and we averaged 6.5.
So if you guys are ready, I'm just going to jump right into it. So these tracks here were laid down in 1863 by the Reading Railroad Company. So that sounds familiar to you guys because it's on the Monopoly board. And that's because these tracks go up to the city Monopoly's based off of Atlantic City. And so the tracks, they're really popular, and they brought a lot of tourism into Cape May and really solidified Cape May as a tourist attraction. So it's really successful, and a rival railroad company, the Pennsylvania Railroad, came in and decided they wanted to build a track going into Cape May as well. Their track, it was right about where the bridge over there is now, and since they were so close to each other, they basically raced into the station every day. And this is because whoever got here quicker was able to get their passengers into better spots on the beach, in restaurants, things like that. So what Pennsylvania Railroad did to try and get their passengers in quicker, they became kind of a luxury line. So they would charge more for the tickets, but in exchange they would use more fuel, and they would get into the station quicker every day. And Reading Railroad, they were suffering. They basically were getting a lot of tourism taken away from them, and they needed to do something to try and get some people back on their trains. So what they did is they ran a promotion. They started selling lunches on their trains, which had never been done before up until this point. And these lunches were special because they were sold in shoe boxes, and it actually brought up a name for the tourists called Shoebies, which I'm sure you guys have heard of before. And if you haven't, I'm sure you will over the course of the summer. So, yeah, it's really popular for a lot of tourism back to Reading Railroad, and they kept competing for a while, all the way up until the mid-90s, when cars became a lot more popular, and the tracks basically switched to mainly freight train use. And then they actually merged in the late 90s into the track you guys are standing on here, which is now called the Pennsylvania Reading Shoreline. And it goes all the way up through all these shoreline cities like Ocean City, Avalon, stuff like that. So, these tracks were operational even down here in Cape May all the way up until 2012, when the bridge behind you guys actually broke down. So, in 2012, what happened is Hurricane Sandy came in and destroyed some wires on the bottom of the bridge over there. Now, that bridge, it's a special kind of bridge, it's called a swing bridge, because it's able to swing back and forth. So what they would do, they'd have someone in this building right behind me, and there's a little control panel in there, and you just have someone in there and they spin it so that the trains can go across the tracks, and then spin it back so that the boats can come through the canal. Now, 2012, Sandy came in, broke the wires, and prevented the bridge from actually turning. And it was actually stuck in the opposite position to what it is now. So the canal is basically shut down for a little bit. And the state came in and they decided that the canal is a lot more useful than the train tracks down here in Cape May. So they came in, jacked the bridge open, and it's been stuff like that ever since. Now the tracks are still operational up towards Atlantic City. They do some tour stuff like we do here. It's a little bit different. They use actual trains there. Now, you guys were here about 120 years ago or so, a long time ago. You guys actually wouldn't see the canal at all. The bridge was still here. There was actually a valley here, some farmland, and there was no canal at all. The canal was built in 1940. Does anyone know what big event was going on in 1940? World War II. Exactly. So, World War II, what was going on is out in the Atlantic Ocean, the Germans were sending out U-boats, which are basically submarines with torpedoes and weapons on them. And they were destroying our ships that were shipping goods into the European countries like Britain, France, Spain, stuff like that. And so we needed a quick way to get these ships back to safety, to shallower waters, where these submarines couldn't chase these ships. And so the government was looking, and they found the Delaware Bay, which was actually a pretty perfect spot for this. There's only one issue. It's that these ships had to come around the Cape May Peninsula to get into the Delaware Bay. And that was pretty risky, as they're very, very vulnerable to these U-boats kind of waiting there for them and torpedoing them as they were trying to get into them. So what the Coast Guard decided to do, they decided to set up this canal, and they built it, and it went straight from the Atlantic Ocean into the Delaware Bay. It was a lot quicker and allowed the ships to get in a lot more safely. But there's two big issues. First thing the torpedoes from the U-boats could go right through the canal and hit the ships that are docked on the other side. And the second problem is that the U.S. could actually kind of follow them through the canal for the first about half, and it was pretty risky to have those U-boats be able to come in. So, what they decided to do, first thing, if you guys look down towards that end of the canal, you actually see that you can't see the Delaware Bay. That's because they curved it towards the end to prevent those torpedoes from going straight through, and instead they just destroyed someone's and then the second thing they did is to set up nets under the water on each side, and that prevented the U-boats from coming underneath, but allowed the ships to still safely sail across the top. And so with the nets, they actually captured 7 U-boats. And so we took them onto land, captured their captains as prisoners of war, and looked at their technology, things like that. But we found something interesting in them, which is actually articles and newsletters from Cape May. So, what these U-boat operators were doing, they would sail onto the shores at night, and they would come into town, take these newsletters, articles, whatever they could find, and they would send it back to German intelligence so that they knew what was going on here in America during the war. So, Coast Guard came in, decided they wanted to put a stop to it, and they set up a curfew for 8 p.m. Everyone inside, businesses closed, no lights on. And they actually patrolled the shoreline from 8 p.m. all the way until 6 in the morning. And it was really effective. It actually prevented a lot of these German U-boats from coming onto the shores, and they actually stopped a few from actually getting there. So, Cape May played a pretty huge part in the war, and there's a lot more history here if you guys are really into that kind of stuff that you guys can check out after the ride here today. So.
That was a neat idea to paint that. I want to see Bubby's eyes.
So what are your thoughts on the journey?
I liked it.
You liked it?
Yes, I did.
Something to do.
Yeah. It was enjoyable.
It's easy to pedal these things. It's just you got to step over to get into them. So if you have issues picking your leg up over 2.5 foot, you might have a problem. But otherwise, pedaling is very easy. The brakes are very strong. It's all mostly flat, and these things roll really well.
Yeah.